Well, hello, Dragon family. Happy Friday. Araya coming to you live here in For the Love of Dragons. It's off to a great start. I just had a discovery call that was just off the charts. Sometimes they are so fun. And new information came. I love what I do. I love that. So I was feeling I was going to do a live today. I've had some great questions this week and thought, all right, Friday's the best day. Energetically open. I've got I can fit it in the schedule. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But when I sat to feel, are there dragons? Do I need to shift the portraits behind me? Because as you guys know, sometimes I've shown, I have on this wall and this wall over half of the deck. So the Divining with the Dragons deck, all the different cards that are part of that, there's 44 images. I've got over half of them on these walls, and they want to pop in. There are different dragons each time that want to pop in or be part of my classes, part of my sessions. So I thought it interesting, the two that we're presenting today. And one of them, actually, this is his closest cousin. It was the Vermilion Dragon, which I don't have the print of for some reason. But the Tangerine Dragon is the highest solar plexus. Well, very close to that. Just imagine this is actually a deeper shade of reddish vermilion, that salmon color, like in a sunset. So the Vermilion Dragon is our fire chamber. As dragons, the fire chamber chakra is held and activated by the Vermilion Dragon or the Pleiades. So we've got the dragon aspect fire chamber, and then it was the womb dragon in our human aspect that was the other one that wanted to come in today. And this guy has not come in a long time. So I thought that also very interesting. So what is that showing me? What am I feeling from that before we dive into this week's questions? If we've got the human aspect womb dragon encased in its beautiful crystal ball, I love how the artist nailed that for me. Nico is just amazing as an artist. And if you haven't seen it yet, just a little side note there, he did the artwork for the new book. I should have had one here with me. Well, I don't have one here with me. I got the case of them this week. All the paperback orders went out Tuesday night. Super excited about that. Spent quite some time autographing all of them. That was fun. So if you haven't got your copy yet, I do have a few left ready to be autographed. But the artist did the same artist did it, and he really knocked it out of the park with that. I'm really excited. I gave him the geometry, and he had the intertwining dragons come forward, and it really worked. So anyway, we've got the human aspect womb dragon, and we've got the overlaid fire chamber dragon of the Pleiades. So that to me shows both aspects. So coming from both sides of the energetic of our power center, really coming into our power, really coming into the merge point of that between our highest self, our dragon aspect, and our human self, and that those are really in play right now. So how would that manifest in our journey right now? Like having power issues, you might have electrical power issues showing up. You might have a bunch of things breaking, the power circuitry not working. So it's funny, I hadn't really considered that to be why just late last night, our trash compactor broke. And I'm realizing now the connection, like it's not about the trash, it's the power circuitry. There were quite a few things actually, now that I think about it, that were functioning weird yesterday. So this is where we're at. We've got stuff going on with the power center that can be electrical, as how it manifests. It can be stomach and gut issues right now that are hitting you hard. Depends how you're taking those energies in of what's trying to merge, what's trying to come together. It might be emotional power struggles in your life, feeling powerless, or just being overabundantly, like almost so powerful and radiant that you're maybe pushing people away, or feeling like there's power struggles starting to come in. So just pay attention to that. Take that work into yourself. Work with the womb Hara dragon and or the Vermilion dragon from the Pleiades. There's a little bit about both in the Divining with the Dragons Oracle deck. And just see, like, what are you trying to show me that I'm not seeing? Let me go into that center. Go and do a meditation in your heart and womb space. You know, we do have both. I talked about this a while back. I used to always delineate between the womb space being the feminine and the heart space being the counterpart of that energetically in the masculine. Well, much later on, the dragons were showing me you do each actually have both, and they have to come into balance. They have to come into reconciliation within as part of your journey into unity. So there we are with the energy that we're in today. It's gonna feel as you're coming into it like when it's merging, when you're really in it, it's gonna be like a power boost, almost like, wow, things are taking off. I'm getting the propulsion forward that I need in my journey forward. All the things I mentioned before are going to be the little roadblocks that are showing up, trying to let you like see like this is what's standing in your way. So I've obviously got some electrical issue or something with trash. What am I not jettisoning? What am I not letting go of completely? This is the way I always allow things to speak to me. So it's my trash compactor predominantly that went down. It's blocked. So what is being blocked that I'm trying to get rid of? What am I trying to leave behind, trying to throw out that is something's getting blocked there? That's going to hold me back from really moving forward into this stream, like the rocket taking off towards my next launch point of, hey, things are opening up. We've got big openings going on right now. I'm seeing some things align in my life that like I've been waiting for, finally getting the bigger picture of them. And now I'm on notice of, all right, you're ready for takeoff, but pay attention to this piece. Be really clear that you're ready to let that stuff go. What can you do to help it go out? And for me, like, I'm not going to, part of this for me is I'm not going to fix again. I'm not going to just keep babying it along. I'm going to replace it. It's time for upgraded, new hardware, new technology, new whatever in there. That's part of the new, allowing the new to flow in that aligns with the energy we're in now. What aligns more truly with me, even with a trash compactor in my house, that is maybe a better color that I like, or a better material, or a better design, or whatever. I need to upgrade. I need to be allowing myself to have upgraded surroundings. That's part of my launch. That's part of what my next phase is. So I find it interesting whenever these discussions come in, because they're never planned. They're what's flowing, and that's all what we're doing is flowing in the energy of what is this now moment? What am I not paying attention to? And let it speak to me, letting that information really pop and connect for you. So with that, I want to go into, because these questions are actually part of that launch forward for a couple of people. And I'm seeing a bunch of new faces on today. This is fantastic. Hi, Tori. And I saw Miri, I think it was. Great to have you here on the live, and hello to everybody catching the replay, because a lot of people wait for it to come out on the YouTube channel. Totally fine with me. However and whenever you need to get the information is what works. We're all in flow right now. So I come on when I come on, just because I know that you guys are going to get it when you need it. And I'm always in the energy field, the sphere of who's fully connected into this right now. And there's fairly large audience energetically. They'll catch it maybe early next week, who knows, or over the weekend when they can get to actually watching. So 2 great questions this week. One from Alexandra. She shared that recently she's had, or in the last couple of years, there's a Lyran guide who's finally showed up, a feline guide. And that's going to be very commonplace, that as we're moving into that 5th dimensional new space, the Lyrans are the ones that are taking the grids from the dragons. And so it is quite natural and normal that there would be a Lyran guide coming in to work with you as you move into that alignment, into that new system alignment. They've got some assistance for you. So her question, though, was, it was actually that for the last 2 years, she's finally gotten used to having her personal dragon around. Will my personal dragon stay with me and work alongside this new guide? Or is my dragon going to abandon me? Is my dragon going to just like take off now that I have this new guy? How does that work? And it's a great question, because we do get attached to our guides. We do love having our dragons around. And first I want to delineate between your personal dragon and your core dragon. So when she's talking about personal dragon, I feel like she's talking about a guide that's with her. But you need to delineate between, are these my guides, or is this my higher aspect? Is this an aspect of myself that I'm finally really having a presence with and having around me that is it's a part of me. So in that sense, that one will never go away. You're actually going to get more and more merged with it. But as far as your personal dragon guides, they change out as in when you are ready for that shift. I don't feel like, because when I see the relationship between the dragons and the Lyrans, and even the handing off of the batons, as I've called it, as the Lyrans take over, there's been some baton passing. Some of the dragons have passed their baton on, but for the most part, I see them both still holding this scepter, which to me shows they're still working in tandem. They're not ready. We're not ready for the full handoff. It's very close in some places, and for some people, it will be a shift point of they're ready to move into just focusing on their Lyran guides. But even with that, I feel like the dragon is still always touching in, always connecting in your sphere, like ready at the beck and call when you need to have them connect in with you, or always like you're on their radar. They're checking in, making sure like, yep, things are smooth, they're good. I can go and do this over here now. So it really depends. It's going to be very personal in where you're at on your journey, and how and when you're ready for that autonomy. At some point, you won't even need guides. At some point, you're going to be fully merged and autonomous in your own field, where your telepathic body is expanded. You're in full communication. You're sending messages out to those that have been your guides. Hey, I need your help on this. And they show up. But you're going to be walking more individually. We're not going to need guides as soon as we're fully there. So hopefully that answers Alexandra's first question on that. But then she also asked, and this touched on something we discussed a while back, she said, do you think my original guardian angels have been replaced? So this refers to something I talked about in the book, the new book, The Ascension Protocol, that we are all given as humans born into this realm a guardian guide and guardian angel that is assigned to us from those heavenly realms that are very human. They're angelic, and they're very much closer in presence energetically to our format as we're born and come through this realm. So they will walk with us until it's time for a shift. When we start our spiritual journey, when our awakening happens or different parts of our journey are moved into, they naturally get a new set of guardians. Like they get replaced, I guess would be the best word, with those that match your vibration for your next phase much better. So I would bet that almost everyone that hears this has had a changing of the guard of their original guide and guardian angels from childhood, from birth. Most of that happens as we move into our phase, when we move out of our parents' house and we step out into our own, we're ready for a next level expansion. And typically there's a shifting then. But the real big shift, and this may be the only shift for some, is when we open spiritually, when we start to actually seek out our higher self. That's when they know that we're ready for something different. There may be a very unusual case where those guide and guardian are the right match from the beginning. Maybe more so with this younger generation, what do I want to call them? The diamond children that have been coming in. They're already so far along energetically that they probably have a very close match with them from the get-go for this transition. But those of us that are older, as soon as your awakening happens, you can guarantee that those guides have switched out. So hopefully that makes sense, Alexandra. If that begs more question, please send me another email. And then I also had a great question from Bryony, who has done some work with me. And she often is talking about dragons or feeling dragon energy with different folks who haven't done this work. They're not necessarily as aware of all that maybe we are or that we're opening to. And so anytime she talks about dragons, she feels like there's an assumption being made of that it's about dragon ley lines or dragon energies, because they immediately go into talking about that. It might be something they're more familiar with in a way of embracing or opening to the fact that there's dragon energies in the planet. And be aware of that a lot of people are not open or yet ready to receive the fact that dragons are real beings, that we can in fact be dragons incarnate in human suits. That's a discussion maybe for down the road, but it doesn't mean that those conversations aren't going to start planting seeds. So when someone's not ready to hear that, they are going to automatically go into talking about, oh yeah, dragon ley lines. I know all about that. I've heard about this up in Glastonbury, or the line that goes through here, the Michael lines, all of those. There are dragon energetic lines in and around the planet. But when I talk about dragons, unless I'm talking about the grids, typically I'm having conversation or discussing topics that are connected very much directly to actual dragons as beings that we are. And so there's a very distinct difference between dragon energy that is ley lines. The dragons are holding those and running that energy, but it is not a dragon that is the ley line. There are many, many dragons along that line, getting the energy flowing, helping it stay open, keeping it clear. We're helping activate those sometimes, those of us that have dragon aspect. Many of you are doing activations of the energetic grids around the planet. It's necessary, but those are not dragon beings themselves. There are lots of dragon beings in the planet, but when we talk about the ley lines, that is a flow of energy. It's like an electrical current line. It's like a big grid of wires, if you want to call them that these lines are where the energy is flowing and running, that the dragons are actually keepers of. They are the grid keepers. So our dragons are our guides, our higher self aspect. They are actual beings, much like humans are beings, much like angels are beings, the unicorns, the fairies, all of these beings that we don't connect with. The Ascended Masters, they are beings that are in humanoid form, but as we have learned, many of even the angelic, the archangels, are actually dragon as well. Like dragons are shapeshifters. We can go into different shapes. So the question that is asked is, what is the difference between the two? And hopefully that clears it up, because dragons are actually separate beings. And when we experience that energy, we are not just experiencing the energy that is part of those ley lines. You're actually experiencing a dragon that is a being created by God as that form, just like God created humans. We are all these beautiful conscious beings of many different forms. And when you start to interact with the higher galactic realms or even the multiverse realms, the number of and types of beings that you're going to encounter and will remember having encounters with is phenomenal. Is infinite. And we have to step into those waters knowing that if we're not open to embracing some crazy form, we're not going to be ready for that yet. Many people are not ready to embrace that a dragon could be a real big being. They might be scary to them. They might have history with them. Hello, Mona Lisa. They might be like really intimidated by that energy, which is why even the angelics like Michael don't present as a black dragon right away if that person is only open to encountering an angelic presence. So they are very distinctly different. And, there's probably lots of different avenues that this discussion could take. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. If you want me to take that in a different avenue, send me an email or put it in the comments here of what we want to discuss next week. Talking about discussions, that's bringing up to me that, I don't know if most of you guys know, I am going to host a book club focused around the Ascension Protocol, the new material in the new book, but it's open to any and all discussions about dragons because it's all connected. So that's starting April 21st, goes through May 12th, just before I leave for Japan. So we've got 4 weeks that we can get together. It's on Mondays from 1 to 3 Pacific Standard. If that interests you, you haven't heard about it, send me an email. I'll send you some information. It's a great opportunity to have a 2-hour discussion, almost like a program where it's an open-hearted discussion. I do tend to do the most talking because you guys throw your questions in and the discussion weaves its way through. They're amazingly fun. And we always do a powerhouse meditation at the end of the 2 hours to get the energetic work that goes along with all of the new information percolating in. And I know that as the words have been described, there's a lot of information in the new book. It's fairly dense, not energetically, it's dense informationally. It's got a lot of layers to it. There's a lot woven in there that's going to be a reread. Oh my God, I never picked up that part the fourth time I read it. Wow, I'm ready to see that. It's designed to be that way. It's intentionally, and so it can be a bit heady. The first time you read through, you'll be like, woo, that just went over my head. That's why I want to have a discussion opportunity to go through those, help you really get the bigger picture and really feel it energetically, because anytime I'm in small group with people, there's an energetic transmission that's happening that just keeps opening those physical, mental, emotional, and energetic bodies to help us move out of the hold they have on us here in 3D. So if you're curious about that, send me a note, araya@dragonwithin.com or at invokehealing.com, ARAYA. You guys know that. We've been together a long time, but we always have people adding. So I'm excited to see that we're well over 5,000, I think, in our dragon family here. And something like 1,400 and something that are catching it on the YouTube channel. So that's pretty exciting. Anyway, I'm going to wish you guys a beautiful weekend. I know there aren't a lot of slots, but I just had an amazing discovery call this morning. They're always just fascinating conversations for me. They're not readings per se. Sometimes information slips through, but check out the calendar if you're curious about that. I don't know. Uh-oh, we got a thumbs down come from somebody. That is a first. So I'm hoping that was a mistake, or maybe there's a troll in here, not sure. There we go. I like that one a little better. Anyway, I always love to get together in whatever way we're discussing. And I'm going to wish you guys a beautiful weekend. Bye for now, and send those questions. We'll talk about it next week. Have a good one, guys. Bye.